Hi, everybody. It's Tailor here from COAR Consultants. And yeah, it's a chilly morning here in New Zealand. And wanting to chat today about how to tailor your CV when you're applying for jobs here in New Zealand. You don't have to spend hours on every job application. You don't have to rewrite your CV every time. Firstly, I'm Tailor. I'm a South African, came across here in 2016, and yeah, I'm a qualified engineer and a BCom, so I have experience across commercial and technical fields. And I'll just let somebody in. And hi, just to introduce myself, it's Tailor here, South African. I've got 10 years spent in New Zealand. I'm a qualified engineer by background. I've got a BCom, so I've got commercial and technical experience. And I've worked in manufacturing industries for 25 years, large international manufacturing companies. And why do I do what I do? It's because I have a passion for helping people succeed. So let's speak about the problem here. Tailoring your CV every time feels as if it's overwhelming. Do I really have to rewrite my CV for every job? Every time there's a different job that you apply for, they have different requirements. They have different words that they use. It might be the identical job you're going to be doing, but every company is looking for different skill sets. And you can't just send out the same CV every time. But it doesn't have to take hours. Why does tailoring your CV matter? The first thing is it needs to show, firstly, the role that the employer is advertising. They want to see what the role is about. You've got to find sort of the job description. They want to look and see what is the skills that you have. It shows what experience you need to qualify for this role. And they want to see what value you're going to add to the business. And this is all about the employer looking for the right candidate. And they want to see that you're a good fit for this role, that you have the skills, that you have the experience, and you have the value, and you're going to bring value to this job. What is the big mistake people make the whole time? I think it's you don't have to rewrite your CV every time. You don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to rewrite every section of your CV. You don't have to change everything. You don't have to spend hours on one application. I think you build a solid CV in the beginning and you tailor it strategically then to each job that you're applying for. Now, rewrite your building that one CV takes a lot of time and effort, of course, in the beginning, because you have to analyze a lot of adverts and see what employers are looking for in New Zealand in those types of roles. What is the solution? As I said, you've got to build a strong CV base. You've got to show your experience, your core roles and responsibilities that you've had. You've got to show your skills, what your technical and your hard skills, I call them hard skills, your technical skills and your soft skills. And then also transferable skills. They might not be looking for certain skills, but you can look at the transferable skills. And you've got to look at, and I always focus on drawing up your achievements, your results, and the impact. I call it the value add that you've brought. And what value do you bring to the employer? As here in New Zealand, employers look for what are you going to bring to me. They don't want to hear how good and fantastic you are. They want to hear how you're going to come and make a difference in their business. You can use one strong foundational CV then to be able to apply for many different types of roles without making huge adjustments. Why do keywords matter? I think this is all about the ATS system. So not all jobs use the ATS system. It's only when you're applying via Seek and via different portals, if you applying through companies, etc. But Seek uses the automatic tracking system where it matches your keywords in your CV or in the job description and what is in your CV. And you'll see LinkedIn does this a lot, where there's keyword match. They say you're a 45% match to this job because it's looked for the keywords in the job advert and it's looked at the keywords in your profile and said, well, you're only a 50% match. So you've got to read your job description like a recruiter. Recruiters look for keywords in your CV. So the job description will say customer service. Your CV should reflect those words, customer service. If they're looking for problem-solving skills, your CV's got to say problem-solving. And use the employer's language when it genuinely reflects your experience. Don't go and create words there which you can't justify in an interview, or that even if you get the job and you arrive here and they're expecting those type of skills and you can't deliver them, they then catch you out and say, but you said so in your CV. And in New Zealand, I've seen many people dismissed because they haven't used honesty on their CV. And they haven't, they come along and they say, well, I've got these and these skills just because ChatGPT said so, or it sounds great to put it on your CV to get the job. But when you're there and you can't deliver those skills, then you get dismissed and instantly. And I've seen many cases like that in my career. I prefer sort of a quick tweak strategy. You don't need a rewrite. You've got to go and look at, firstly, your professional summary on the top of your CV. You've got to adjust it to match the role. You don't have to adjust it to specifically the first few sentences. I've got that sort of 5-point system, which I use to generate your professional summary to hook people in the first 7 seconds. But what you can do is modify your value add section of the professional summary and match it more to what they're looking for. So look at maybe some other achievements that you've done and add that in if that matches the job advert. Move your bullet points in your CV as well. Move the most relevant experience higher and put the items that they are, let's say, looking for problem solving. Could be things, move that up in your skills section and your bullet points up to the top, the higher points. Remember, in New Zealand, safety is also a huge thing. You've got to talk about safety. I've even heard of a person applying for an office role. They said, what's the most important thing for business? And this was like an accounting firm. So the people just sit at their desk the whole day. They don't even use paper anymore. And the answer was safety. And yes, that is how critical safety is in this country. Then also, if they're looking for problem-solving skills in your skills section, they're looking for, let's say, teamwork and those kind of things, move those up higher in your bullet point skills. Then also reflect important terms in your experience. Also use those and just sometimes move them a bit higher up in your latest role or the next role. You might have, let's say, before and after here. Example, experienced professional with strong communication skills is what you've got there. Maybe afterwards, right there, if they've got customer service is what they're looking for, you'd put customer service professional with experience resolving customer queries, managing client relationships, and solving problems efficiently. Small changes make a big difference. Okay, let's see what not to do. That's maybe sometimes the better way of looking at it here is tailoring isn't changing who you are. Don't invent experience. That's critical. Don't put keywords there that you haven't got experience in and can't justify in an interview. Don't copy the job description. They'll also very quickly pick up that you've just copied and pasted the job description. Don't rewrite everything. Your experience is your experience. Sometimes companies also look for people who have diversified experience and who bring extra skills to the table, not just a certain set of skills. Your experience stays the same, but the emphasis changes. The emphasis is focusing on what they are looking for, which you have in your skill set and your work experience. The systems, your simple CV tailoring system. I've got sort of a system here to follow. And firstly, use your strong base CV. So you have one CV which has you've drawn up initially with your value add and your skill sets in there. Then go over the job description. What I normally do is I highlight the job description and I highlight the keywords in a highlight marker. Find those keywords and the priorities that they're looking for. And they hide them sometimes in long-winded sentences. They hide them away. But prioritize those keywords and identify what are the things that they are looking for. Then only go and adjust your summary and the key bullet points. And then check your CV. A lot of times I read a CV and you can see somebody's added something in but forgotten to delete the last few words. So read it through carefully, slowly and clearly before you submit it. And also check your cover letter. Every time you've got to adjust your cover letter. Same thing, take the sections that are important and identify in the cover letter why you match this role. What skills do you bring that they are looking for? So problem solving, they're looking for design, install and maintain. So you've got to have those designing skills. So you use, let's say, AutoCAD to design a plant, then have your project management experience to install the plant, and then you have experience in maintaining these systems afterwards. So very important to check that and then put that into your cover letter. So what is the key takeaway that I've trying to summarize what I've said today? What are the key takeaways? You don't need to rewrite your CV every time. You don't need to align it. Draw up a strong base CV, go through the job descriptions, create small tweaks and bringing just the right keywords up in and ensuring that those keywords match the job description and make the application relevant. Small, smart changes can lead to better results. Now, another thing that I've done as well is I've created a prompt that helps you, what I call a ChatGPT prompt, which helps you modify, not modify your CV, but adapt your CV or create recommendations for the CV when you're applying for a job. And you use this prompt, of course, to go read, you get the prompt to read the job description, read your CV, but then advise you of what changes to make. Don't tell it to go and rewrite your CV, because then it starts creating things and it goes and searches the internet and job descriptions from other people and adds in things that you haven't done, which are dangerous. This prompt is about nearly 2 pages long because you have to be very careful of how you prompt ChatGPT. But it'll help you look at the job description, look at your CV, and it'll advise you. It doesn't change your CV, it'll advise you. If you want more information about this prompt, email me or book a free 20-minute consultation. I can help you with that. And yeah, thanks. This is Peter from COAR Consultants, and thanks for joining our workshop today.